If you're holding XRP, then today's news might change your whole mindset about the future of your investment. Welcome to Hudson XRP News, the place where we break down every major update, every hidden move, and every opportunity that the market tries to hide from retail investors like us. If you truly believe in XRP, then stay with me till the end of this series because what I am about to reveal is not normal market behavior. Click the like button, subscribe, and let's jump into the truth that others do not want you to see. XRP is showing a strong green candle while Bitcoin and other top coins are struggling. And that is not just random price action. There is something bigger happening behind the scenes, and as a community, we deserve to understand every detail. For years, XRP holders waited for the moment when XRP would stop depending on Bitcoin's moves. Analysts said this moment would arrive only when XRP got legal clarity, strong liquidity, and major institutional adoption. Right now, we are seeing signs that the decoupling has already started. Bitcoin is moving down or staying flat, but XRP is rising with confidence. This kind of opposite price behavior usually reflects a major shift in investor belief. Retail traders cannot cause this kind of movement alone. This looks like smart money entering the asset quietly. Whenever big players make a move, they do it in silence first. That silence is what we are witnessing in XRP. Many people are surprised, even confused about why XRP is pumping without hype. The reality is that hype-driven pumps explode, then crash. Utility-driven pumps keep rising because real financial systems are behind them. XRP is one of the few cryptocurrencies designed for actual banking performance. Fast settlement, low fees, global scalability. These are not just marketing words. Banks, fintech companies, and cross-border payment networks depend on such technology when they handle billions of dollars daily. Right now, institutions know what is coming. Retail audiences still sleep, but big investors are positioning themselves before the world wakes up. Look at the timing. The world economy is changing. Countries are tired of slow, swift transfers. CBDCs are being tested everywhere. Cross-border efficiency has become a priority for governments and global banks. XRP and Ripple are already sitting in those meetings building those systems. When financial infrastructure shifts, it never happens overnight. It starts quietly, and then suddenly everything changes. Prices react before the news becomes public. That is why this pump matters. It is not a meme, it is not social media noise, it is a signal of acceleration. XRP has been suppressed for a long time. SEC case delays FUD market confusion. Yet even after all of that, XRP is still alive, expanding and gaining respect worldwide. Most projects would have died. XRP did. Not survival is proof of strength and vision. That strength is now reflecting on the chart. Investors who laughed before are now watching from the sidelines asking, why is XRP rising when others are falling? The answer is simple. Real utility does not need permission from hype. Now is the moment to think like a serious investor. Do you want to chase news when it becomes too late? Or do you want to understand the early signals before the breakout becomes mainstream? We will uncover everything over the next parts. So stay focused, stay excited, and tell me in the comments, do you believe the decoupling of XRP has officially begun? Let's continue this journey together only here at Hudson XRP News. XRP is not just experiencing a random price push. There are powerful economic forces reshaping the financial world, and those forces are lining up directly with Ripple's vision. When we talk about real financial transformation, we need to talk about CBDC's tokenization of assets and instant settlement for cross-border trade. These are not dreams anymore. These are active global projects involving banks, governments, and corporations. Ripple has been quietly building partnerships in every continent. Each partnership increases XRP's long-term strength because when banks and payment providers need liquidity, they will choose the fastest and cheapest path. XRP is built for that job. People wonder why XRP's price did not explode sooner. The truth is that global financial adoption takes time. Regulators want stability, banks want security, institutions want compliance. Ripple has spent years solving exactly those issues. While most crypto projects chase temporary hype, those years of struggle are now turning into advantages. Let's look at CBDCs. More than 100 countries are already researching or building their own digital currencies. These CBDCs will need a bridge asset, something that allows money to move between countries instantly. Not every digital currency will speak the same tech language. They need a translator. XRP is designed to be that bridge. It can connect systems faster than traditional networks like SWIFT, which still takes days for some transfers. We see countries like the UK, Japan, Singapore, and even the Middle East building new payment infrastructures. Ripple is in discussion, pilots, or partnerships in many of those regions. When the banking world finally switches to digital settlement at scale, which asset do you think will benefit first? The answer is the one already inside the room: XRP. We must also pay attention to liquidity. A system as big as global banking needs deep liquidity. It needs a digital asset that can handle trillions, not just millions. Many coins pump because of speculation, but speculation disappears fast. XRP's demand will come from utility. Imagine millions of cross-border payments happening every minute. Each transaction requires XRP to move value. More transactions mean more XRP usage. More usage means real demand. When demand increases while supply becomes limited in circulation, price rises naturally. That is sustainable growth, not hype. Investors who understand this are entering quietly before the utility explosion. Look at the behavior of whales. They are accumulating more XRP while the market still argues. Whales never buy after the pump. They buy before it happens. On-chain data shows large amounts of XRP leaving exchanges. When coins leave exchanges, that means holders plan to store them long-term or use them in institutional systems. Short-term traders keep assets on exchanges. Long-term believers remove them. This trend is a huge signal that big money expects a major move in the near future. Once liquidity providers start locking large amounts of XRP for institutional flows, the available supply for retail buyers reduces sharply. That creates a squeeze. Price pressure increases. This is how wealth transfers happen in markets. Meanwhile, media tries to distract by focusing only on Bitcoin. They tell you nothing is happening with altcoins, but the charts say something else. XRP is not reacting like the rest because XRP is not built for the same purpose. Bitcoin is a store of value. Ethereum is a programmable chain. XRP is a global settlement asset. Each has a role. XRP's role becomes stronger when the world needs fast, affordable movement of value. Right now, that is exactly what the world is demanding. As part of Hudson XRP News, my mission is to make sure our community does not miss these important indicators. We cannot control price action, but we can control knowledge and preparation. The market rewards those who understand before the world catches up. In the next part, we will break down the legal side and why regulatory clarity could be the final key that unlocks full adoption. Stay with me because the best is yet to come. Legal clarity has always been the biggest factor holding XRP back. The SEC lawsuit created doubt in the minds of institutions, even though Ripple continued expanding its global operations. Now that most of the case is decided and Judge Torres has already ruled that XRP itself is not a security on exchanges, the situation is far more positive than critics want to admit. The only remaining issue is institutional sales and whether Ripple will receive full freedom to sell XRP directly to large financial entities. Once this final piece is resolved, the doors to institutional adoption will fully open. Those institutions are already preparing. They are not waiting until the last minute. They are studying Ripple technology, building internal systems, and positioning XRP for future liquidity flows. They understand that clarity is coming. They also understand how valuable being early is. Many investors assume that the lack of an immediate price explosion means nothing important is happening. That is a mistake. The smartest moves in finance are always made quietly before announcements go public. Recently, we saw massive XRP transfers in hundreds of millions of dollars between undisclosed wallets. These are not normal retail movements. These transfers suggest strategic positioning by market giants. When money this large moves, it always means something is coming. Institutions do not gamble. They act based on confidence in future outcomes. The moment regulatory clarity becomes official, those positions will no longer remain silent. They will activate liquidity corridors, partnerships, and settlement networks around the world. Suddenly, demand will increase at a scale the market has never experienced for XRP. Regulatory approval also connects directly to ETFs. When XRP ETFs go live, the impact will be far greater than what we saw with Bitcoin ETFs. Bitcoin ETFs were mostly about storing Bitcoin. XRP ETFs will be about utility and movement. They will allow institutions to flow value through XRP, not just hold it. This creates real financial traffic. That traffic requires supply. Once ETFs begin operations, XRP will be locked by issuers, custodians, and liquidity providers. The available market supply shrinks dramatically. Retail will compete with institutions for the same finite asset. When supply is limited and demand surges globally, price reacts with force. Analysts predict numbers from $10 to $50 in early stages. Some believe triple digits become possible once full liquidity demand kicks in. Whether you agree with those predictions or not, the direction is clear. Regulatory clarity is the ignition switch. There is also the global political element. Governments want digital control but cannot afford disruption in international payments. They need a transition asset. XRP fits perfectly because it has a decade of testing, real-world partnerships, and battle-hardened legal victories. While other cryptos tried to replace banks, Ripple chose to work with them. That strategy frustrated many retail holders early on, but now it proves to be the smartest path. Banks and regulators trust what integrates smoothly into the existing system. XRP delivers exactly that. The world financial market is moving toward interoperability, not separation. That shift is where XRP becomes the bridge connecting everything together. Investors sometimes feel tired or impatient because the price moves slow. That emotion is understandable. XRP spent years under legal pressure and market suppression. Still, it survives stronger than most projects. The fact that it remains in the top assets with real use cases during a long regulatory fight tells you something important. Confidence exists where value exists. Retail fear does not erase fundamental strength. If anything, it creates opportunities for those who stay committed to the long-term vision. As Hudson XRP News, my goal is not to hype or mislead. My goal is to help you see the full picture. When the legal chapter finally closes, the narrative around XRP will shift from waiting for clarity to scaling global adoption. That shift will bring price discovery. We have not seen real price discovery for XRP in many years. When it begins, the move will be fast and powerful. Stay ready because the legal win that changes everything could arrive without warning. One of the key questions everyone keeps asking is whether XRP will finally decouple from Bitcoin. Historically, the crypto market follows Bitcoin like a shadow. When Bitcoin pumps, everything rises. When Bitcoin crashes, almost everything falls. This behavior has limited XRP from showing its true value because it is not simply a speculative asset. It was designed for utility, speed, and real global payments. A price movement that depends on Bitcoin does not reflect that. Investors want to see XRP move on its own based on adoption and volume, not speculation. We are now closer to that possibility than ever before. As Bitcoin narratives begin to weaken and institutional focus shifts toward utility, XRP sits at the center of the conversation. Bitcoin has value as digital gold, but it struggles as a payment system. It is too slow, too expensive, and requires a second-layer solution just to function in real transactions that is not practical for banks or cross-border payments. This is where XRP shines. It settles in seconds, costs almost nothing, and is built to scale. When people talk about the future of money, they imagine fast, efficient transactions. That future does not match Bitcoin's design. Market experts are starting to realize that the next crypto leader will not be the asset that stores value, but the asset that moves value. XRP is engineered for movement. Once global liquidity flows are activated, it will no longer make sense for XRP to follow Bitcoin's price patterns. Economic vulnerability also plays a major role. Traditional markets are unpredictable right now. Analysts warn about possible stock market crashes like Black Monday 1987. If that happens, Bitcoin might not behave like a safe haven. It could drop hard with the broader financial system. In that scenario, investors will search for assets supported by real utility. XRP is positioned as a bridge asset for institutional settlement. When markets panic, utility becomes more valuable than speculation. A decoupling event might happen during that moment of economic stress. If Bitcoin sinks, but XRP demand continues to rise from banks and financial networks, XRP could remain strong or even surge higher while the rest of the market struggles. Retail investors often underestimate how quickly institutional behavior can flip everything. When big money enters a market with real purpose, trends change instantly. The companies Ripple is working with are not small crypto startups. They are major players in global finance. They do not care about hype or fear, they care about efficiency, cost reduction, and regulatory support. As soon as these organizations deploy XRP at scale, Bitcoin will no longer be the leader for market direction. Institutions move based on utility. They follow real world use cases. XRP is the only crypto asset with tested technology, ready to replace outdated settlement systems. Today, the idea of a flip of the switch event sometimes gets mocked, but the concept is logical. Financial institutions move slowly until everything is approved and infrastructure is ready. When that moment arrives, they activate all systems at the same time. This creates a sudden and massive demand spike. It will feel like everything changed overnight, but in reality, it will be the result of years of preparation. Decoupling could be triggered exactly then because XRP's value will suddenly reflect global settlement traffic rather than Bitcoin speculation. The most important thing for XRP holders right now is emotional discipline. Markets try to shake investors out right before the breakthrough. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt are common tools. Many people bought XRP at higher prices and feel frustrated watching sideways action. That frustration is part of the game. Success requires patience and understanding. Being early always feels uncomfortable. XRP will reward those who hold their conviction based on fundamentals, not emotions. The moment XRP shows strong independent movement, the crowd that doubted will rush in late, pushing price even higher. You do not want to be the person chasing after the move. You want to be positioned before the world wakes up. We are approaching a historic point where XRP could finally show its real identity, not a follower of Bitcoin, not a speculative token, a global financial backbone with independent strength. That is what decoupling truly means, and that is what XRP was created for. Right now, XRP is holding above $214, and the market is waiting to see what Bitcoin does next. Some analysts still expect a big correction and point to patterns like a head and shoulders setup. They claim XRP could fall under $1 again or even drop back to 0.65 or 0.17. These predictions make holders nervous, especially those who bought at higher prices expecting nonstop growth. This is the emotional roller coaster of crypto. When prices stay flat or move slowly, people start to doubt their investment. They think maybe it would be better to sell and move on. Yet, every time in history that retail gave up on XRP, that was the moment the market flipped in the opposite direction. Those who stayed strong were rewarded. This market is not built to make everyone rich. It is built to reward those with patience when others panic. Looking back at the painful years of low price action, holders survived long consolidation from 2022 to 2023. It felt like XRP would never revisit $1 again. Many critics laughed and said the project was dead. Then suddenly, the moment political changes happened and regulatory pressure shifted, XRP broke out. That is how XRP behaves. It stays quiet, creates doubt, and then shocks the market. This is why you cannot lose focus now. Above $2 is not boring if you understand the potential ahead. Even moving sideways at this level shows strength compared to the past. Every long period of consolidation in history has been followed by a major breakout. The longer the base builds, the bigger the explosion. Some people say XRP will never hit a new all-time high. Others say it will never reach double digits. Soon those voices will disappear once XRP breaks above its historical top and enters true price discovery. The market will reshape instantly. fear will flip into FOMO. The ones mocking will be the ones chasing. XRP is known for surprising the entire crypto world when doubt is at its highest. It is already proven that price predictions based only on charts miss the deeper story. Utility is the real driver. When the world financial system needs a bridge asset, it will choose the one that works today, not one that only exists for speculation. A huge point of excitement for XRP holders is the arrival of ETFs. When Bitcoin ETFs launched, people celebrated massive institutional interest. Yet, that excitement will look small compared to XRP ETFs. Institutions want efficiency. They want regulatory clarity. They want liquidity. XRP offers all of these benefits once the final regulatory decisions are made. The moment ETFs go live, a wall of institutional money will enter. Trillions of dollars move across borders every day. If even a tiny percentage flows through XRP rails, the price impact could be historic. That is why long-term believers stay focused. They know the real adoption wave has not even started. There is also the upcoming clarity from the SEC and Judge Torres. Every delay feels intentional, almost like XRP is being slowed down because the world is not ready for it yet. The case will not continue forever. It cannot go beyond 2025. Once the final ruling arrives and the green light is official, every institution waiting on the sidelines will step in. That shift will be the moment that proves why patience matters. Retail must decide whether they remain strong until that day arrives. Patterns suggest institutions love to buy when the public feels unsure. They take positions quietly, then reveal their involvement only after price lifts dramatically. This entire journey requires belief, based on fundamentals, not hype. XRP has already created a global network with real use case. It is aligned with banks, financial giants, and cross-border payment infrastructure. That is why this investment is different. This is not about a meme or a moment. This is about the future financial system. When you understand that, holding becomes easier. The reward is for those who refuse to quit. Everyone dreams of the day XRP explodes into price discovery. That moment is coming, maybe sooner than many expect. Markets do not reward those who hesitate. They reward those who endure. Keep your confidence strong. Keep your vision focused. And remember, you are early. Together, we will celebrate the day XRP reaches its true value and changes the world of finance forever.